Hello, welcome back. This is part 2 of snow bells, making a snow bell. I'm Terry Kames. My business is Distinctive Treasures by Terry. You can find me on Facebook. Isn't he cute? Okay, so far we did base coating on the top of the bell and we turned him into a snowy figure. We did base coating on the bottom of the bell. So this is what you should have. This is the bottom, and here's the top. Okay, now what we need to do is base coat the little dinger, the dinger part of the bell. Ding, ding, ding. Let me get out my fancy paper plate palette. And the top of the bell is base coated with turquoise. Uh-oh. Oh no. Come out, paint. There we go. Just need a little bit. So I make a mess. All right, so we're going to take what I've been using the whole time is to base coat is a number 12. It's a filbert. It's kind of big for this little tiny piece, but we're going to use it anyway. So I just wet my brush. I have a jar of water off to my side and get some paint on here, and we're going to paint the dinger, or the thing that makes the dinger ding, the top, tippy top of the bell with turquoise. Do the around and the top. And I don't know if you saw that. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to see if I was on camera. So here we go. And it needs to dry. Now what I do with this, while we're waiting for it to dry, is I stick it right up here where it actually fits. I don't twist it in though. I just set it up there so it will dry a little bit before we do the second coat on it. Now here is, let me push this up here. This is the snow part of our snow bell. So we're going to put some, let's look at the original. We're going to put some eyes, eyebrows, the nose, the mouth, and some cheeks on it. Alrighty, so I have my pencil and I have an eraser. Get this out of the way. Not too much out of the way. There we go. That's out of the way. So on the bell, and I got the sun coming in, so I'm going to darken this a little bit so you don't have the glare. Just so you know, this is whiter than you're seeing it in the video for right now. So try to measure out. The nose goes pretty much in the middle. And then the eyes, you can make them smaller. You can make them bigger. You can use a stencil if you have an oval or round stencil. So we look at this one. So I'm just going to make a line towards the middle of where I think the nose should be. And I'm not pushing real hard, so I don't know if you can see there. You can see it there. It's just a faint line. I can push harder so you can see it. I know how to make it. So that's going to be our nose. Now we have to work on the eyes. We go an oval. And you know, my eyes are never perfect. and they're never exactly the same size. It's just the way it is. And do I like that? Let's see. And I'll put one here. We're just testing it out. Can always erase if you don't like how it turned out. Let's see, is there room for eyebrows? Yes. Okay, I think we're good. Let me make this darker so you can see it. All right, so I drew sort of ovals and eyes and the nose. And then I'm going to draw on a smile. I don't usually do the smile with kohl. You can do dots if you like the kohl look. I like the smiley face better. Okay. Now I'm going to lighten up some of these so they're not so in your face, so I can cover them up. Now, you can use paint and a brush, or you can use a marker. I'm going to use the Posca. I'm going to make this brighter, I hope, because now the sun has gone away. Trying to deal with the changing sunlight in my area. Okay, so the Posca pens are acrylic paint markers. You have to shake them up. Here it says Uni Posca. Then I'm going to trace the circle for the eyes, the oval for the eyes, and I'm going to trace the lines that I made for the eyebrows. So I have to anchor myself, so I might not be as close as I should be. Let me go down a little bit. Maybe you can see better. Is that good? I think that might be good. All right. So I'm going to go around. Try to have a steady hand. Then I only can paint in one direction, so I have to turn things and go around. Now, I got a little bloppy down here. I'm going to try to fix that by just filling in a little bit. We'll see how that turns out. It's getting dark again, I can tell. Sorry. Me fighting the sunlight. Okay, then we'll do the eyebrows. And they kind of slant down. And turn this way and slant down. Then I'm going to fill in using the pen. If you're using paint, I would do the outline and do just what I did with the marker, and then fill in with the paint. For this, I'm going to fill in with the marker, and I have to set it down so I can do it. Now you can do these. We're doing turquoise bottoms of the bell. You can do these in any color. Done green, red. It's just, you could do purple if you know purple people who like a purple gift. The bottom is like his scarf. And I have a little thing there I'm going to try to fill in. Okay, then we're going to fill in the next one. Eye number 2. In between videos here, my daughter called. My grandson is throwing up at school. tell you, daycare is something else. He's 3. He's had so many sicknesses. They just pass them around to each other all the time. I thought eventually he might get some immunity, but it hasn't happened yet, and he's been there ever since he was a baby. Okay, get those filled in. I'm going to try to round that one a little bit. That's okay. All right, now I like all my Snowbells to have eyelashes. I usually do 3 on each side. So out of the black, I start inside the black circle. Okay. Is it not light enough again? Okay. Inside the black circle. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Now, if you notice, what I generally try to strive for is let me turn it this way, is the bottom one is the longest, then get a little shorter on the other 2. All right, so that starts the eyes. Now, this is paint, so inside the marker, so it has to dry before I do too much to it. So we will go back to our top of the bell, the one that makes it ding, 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 and we'll put another coat of turquoise on. Very carefully here. And the tippy top. And we'll put it back inside there. That's good. Rinse out my brush. All right, I got turquoisey fingers. I want to turn everything turquoise. Now let's work on the nose a little bit. I'm going to start with burnt orange. This is burnt orange. Put some out on my nifty palette here. And when I do noses, I use a round brush. I'm using a number 2 round. I'm going to wet my brush, wipe off the water, and I'm going down into the paint pretty good. Okay. Now I have my line on here for the nose. See it? Now how I make my noses is strokes. So we're going to go stroke, stroke, back in the paint. I use a lot of paint. And I do have ridges. I like the ridges. And each stroke is getting a little bit smaller. Until the end when you just kind of bring it up out that way. And I've got a little feathery thing there that I don't like, because I don't think carrots have feathers. So I'm going to take my liner brush. This is my 20-aught liner. And I'm going to go into the paint and just try to straighten this feathery nose out. There. Okay. And that has to dry. So let's check out our tippy top. How is it? Oh, it's still wet. Looky there. So I'm going to get out my heated tool. I don't want to dry up all my paint. And we're going to dry it. And I think this needs another coat, because I still see the gray underneath of it. And there's not too much that goes on top of it. So I'm back to my number 12 filbert. Oh, it's hot. Wave it around. And we will give it another coat. And there we go. And put it back up in the top. And rinse out the brush. All right. Let's put a little bit of white out. It's just regular Snow White, any kind of white paint. And we're going to do floating in the eyes. That's this part here, the floating in the eyes. So, okay, sorry, I had a phone call. It was about my grandson. He's doing okay. So, all right. I am using a 3/8 inch angle brush. I like the angles because you can tell what side the paint is on. You can use a flat brush. You can float with whatever brush you prefer. Now I am on some wax paper here. So I dip my brush in water and then I tap on each side. I put the corner into the paint and I'm going to go back and forth. Guess I could move this a little closer. On the wax paper to blend the paint into the brush. And if you don't like what you do, you can wipe it off. So I'm going to leave black around the outside. Would help if I was on here. Black around the outside. So if you can see, I left a little bit of black. I didn't cover the whole thing up. Now, if you cover the whole thing up, you can go back and outline it in black. This is just the way I prefer. It's personal preference. So I rinsed my brush. Here we rinse. I dab one side, then the other side to take out the excess water. I dip the corner into the paint, and I'm going to go back and forth on my wax paper. I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to start and then go back and around, and I got that one a little close, so I know how to fix it. So this is what we have. I'm rinsing my brush out. I'm going to give this a quick dry. Getting my black marker back out, paint pen, and I'm going to fix up around here. Sorry, I know I'm pulling it towards me because I'm not used to painting in the middle of my desk. It's going to take some practice. Go around and fix this. Just like that. Then we're going to get out deep burgundy. Deep burgundy. Now this one is almost gone, so I hope I can get some out. Oh, there we go. Just need a dab. A dab will do you. I'm going to take a little drink of water here. So what we are doing is we're going to shade the nose. If you look on the back side of each one of those strokes I put in, it's darker, and across the bottom. So we'll do one of these at a time. Using my 3/8 inch angle brush, I wet it and tap on each side, dip into the deep burgundy. I'm going to back and forth on my wax paper to blend it out into the brush. Now I have to turn it upside down because I'm going to go along the back side. So with the tip of the brush, I go around each one of these strokes we made when we did the nose. I don't know if that shows up well, but it's there. You can see it better on the finished one. Then I'm going to dry this. And with the same brush, it's still loaded with paint. I'm going to go across the bottom. Of the whole nose. Up to the tippy tip. All right, now I'm going to rinse my brush. And dry that. I'm going to do it one more time because I don't think it's strong enough with one coat. So into the deep burgundy on the corner, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You have to turn it upside down. And we're going to go here, here. Each one of those little strokes we made. I don't know if that's across the bottom. I think the bottom looks okay, only I just made a mess out of it, but I got paint where I shouldn't have got the paint. See? So I'm going to take my brush. Nope, that's not doing it. I'm going to wet a piece of paper towel, and then I'm going to rub it to get it off there. And if that doesn't work, I'll just put some more white paint on it. Dude, I might take both. All right. So I'm going to I still see it, and so it's going to bother me. So I'm going to put a little bit of white. We're going to shade under here anyway. Ooh, the sun is coming in bright. Whoa. All right. Okay. What do you think? I'm going to give this a shot with a dryer. And I'm going to get out pumpkin. I just realized that I think pumpkin is on the discontinued list. If you have pumpkin, feel free to use it. If you don't have pumpkin, pick an orange that is lighter than the burnt orange. And again, I wet my brush. Let's see, where's my paper towel? Wet my brush, rinsed it, and I go like this to take off the excess water on each side. Every single time I go in the water when I'm floating, that's what is happening. Go back and forth, back and forth. Now on the opposite side, from the shaded side, we're going to come in just tip at the corner here. Do some highlighting and a little bit across the top. Let's see. I hope you can see that. I'm going to try to adjust this again. There we go. You can see that pretty good. All right, so the nose is done. And we got to dot the eyes, but I don't want to get dots on because I will make a mess. And what we will do, we'll let that dry. We're going to take our turquoise paint and a little bit of black. And we're going to mix. You can use the end of a brush, a toothpick, a palette knife, whatever you have. So I'm just going to take a tiny dot of black. It doesn't take a lot. And mix into the turquoise to get a darker color. A little bit darker because we're going to shade the turquoise. This kind of mutes it. It's a muted color. Okay, let's see. Get the orange out of my brush. I'm going to take my same 3/8 inch. The sun is really messing with me today. My 3/8 inch brush. I'm in the water. I am taking off the excess. I'm going to take our little tippy top, going into the paint we just mixed. Go back and forth, blend it out. And I'm going to go across the bottom of the tippy top here. I need a little bit more. I usually just go whoosh. There. I'm going to set this in the bell now because I'm going to work on the bottom. So we're going to do the same thing, only we're going to go on the top of the bottom. So in between the two black, I'm going to be across the top. I'm just adding a little bit of depth. And reload my brush. And go across the top. It doesn't show up, it's not real striking. It's just a little different. Rinse out my brush. it does not show up a lot. I have to give it a little dry. Apparently this is going to be a 3-part video as we're coming up on a half hour. I'd like to finish the shading and highlighting on the bell. I'm going to switch up to a 1/2 inch angle brush. So I am doing the exact same thing. In the water, take off the excess on both sides of the brush, dip into the paint, back and forth, and go across the top here. I'm trying to get it down a little bit farther. That's why I'm up to a little bit bigger brush. And back into the paint. And don't hang on to it. Don't drop the bell. Sounds like a game we can make. Kids can play. All right. Let's take a look at the tippy top and see how it is. Now it's okay. I can see the shading on this fine and right here on this side. It doesn't matter what side. I just do a little dip on it so it just has a little variation in color. So let's dry the bottom. And we're going to get out Whispering Turquoise. This is going to be my highlight color. We're going to highlight the bottom of the bell, the top of the dinger, the tippy top, and we're going to put some white dots in the eyes. And then we'll finish up next time with the smile and the snowflakes. Oh, let's see. All right, I was going to do Whispering Turquoise. I'm using the 1/2 inch. I'm going to do the bottom first. I don't know if I have enough paint. There, back and forth. All right. I try to start somewhere where I can tell. So I'm going to start at this black and down here at the bottom. Ooh, I kind of went on bright. A little scary. That's okay. I'll just keep going around. I go back every once in a while and try to smooth it out. Ring around the bell. All right, you can see that pretty good. Try to smooth it a bit. Now, I like to use varnishes on these too. I'm going to ignore the phone call. Sorry. Teach me. Okay. Bell's good. The bottom's good. All right. What's left on this is snowflakes. So we'll set that right there. I'm switching back to the smaller angle, the 3/8 inch angle. And I'm going into the Whispering Turquoise. And going to do the top of the centerpiece here. Ooh, I have the wrong color on my finger. The Try to wipe it off. Oi. Goodness. Gonna orange my top. Around the top there. And on the opposite side where the shading is, at the tippy top. Okay, and I'm going to put that right there to dry. Slipped it right in there. Then our last thing for this part is dots. I always use fresh paint for my dots. And you can use any tool you can find to dot with. I use a stylus usually. You can use the end of paintbrushes. Let me see if my white is pretty fresh. So let me test it. I'll just do a test dot. And that looks pretty good. So I go straight down and dot. Straight down and dot. Okay. How's he doing? Hope you guys are having fun. Alrighty, till next time. Thanks for joining me. This is Terry Caines with Distinctive Treasures by Terry. Till next time. Bye.